Welcome, everybody, to another episode of The Road to Chaos. And joining me, of course, is the promoter of the U90 Classic in England this summer, none other than Luke Davies. Thanks for coming on again, Luke.
Good to see you again, man.
Sounds like we got some good information to pass along to everybody who are highly anticipating this at this point. So
Yes.
we're going to get right into it because the last we talked, you made mention that the online qualifier is going to start soon.
Yes.
And when is the official date of that start on that? Was it right after these announcements here today, or
No,
how are you going to roll that out?
The official date is going to run. It's going to run in March.
Okay.
So the first day that they can submit videos will be March the 1st. A week before that, I'm going to be sending out an email with like exact descriptions of how I want it recorded. You know, the technical description.
Right.
So I'm not going to give them today. I'm just going to tell them what the events are. But end of February, they'll be getting the exact details along with like a video demo of how I want it done, basically.
Got it.
Whereas
today
we're just going to say what the event is, how heavy it's going to be.
Sure. Okay. Yep. Sure. Okay. Well, let's get started then. As we know, we're going to get 5 people are going to qualify now because you did make that announcement last time we spoke that it's going to go from 3 to 5.
Yeah.
And how many inquiries have we gotten so far, and how many people do we anticipate are probably going to be? As far as you can guess, I know you've gotten a lot of inquiries. I know I have on my end.
I'll tell you exactly how many people have entered right now. If you just bear with me 1 second, I'll just get it up.
Yeah. That's
so
kind of good to know. I know these
we've
guys like to hear that.
56.
56. Okay. Yeah, I thought it'd be well over 50.
Qualifier from 1, 2, 3. That's people from England, Scotland, Wales, United States, France, Norway, Sweden, Austria, Netherlands, Denmark, Germany, and Australia so far.
Wow. Yeah, that's covering quite an international competition that's taking place here in a few months. And boy, time is flying by too, by the way. I know it seemed like it was just yesterday we spoke about this, and all of a sudden we're 5 months out instead of 8 months out when we made this announcement of this show. How's it going on your end?
Yeah, good, man. I haven't been doing a lot of work on the Kaos Classic the last 4 weeks because, stupidly, me and Reed decided to run a show every weekend for the past 5 weeks. So we've literally ran a show every weekend in 2023. But we've got a couple of weeks break now, so I'm going to be cracking on with the Kaos Classic stuff. I've had a few more guys confirmed, so I'll be putting their names up on the website so people can order the personalized shirts. Derek has been working on, the official confirmed posters, and there's a few guys who basically haven't been in touch at all yet to say whether they're coming or not. So I'll be chasing those bastards up in the next few weeks, because basically if they don't confirm by a certain date, I can't remember what it was, I told them yet, then the places will drop down to the online qualifier. The obviously places for the online qualifier will increase if people don't confirm. So I'll be chasing that up over the next 2 weeks as well.
Well, you know how these guys are when these shows are this far out. They don't realize the importance of it sometimes, because you're right. The people are chomping at the bit to get in this thing. So it's either shit or get off the pot kind of thing at this point.
Yeah, I get it, because it is hard to know what you're going to be doing in 6 months sometimes. But I think as the sport progresses and becomes more of a like professional thing, we are going to have to get our calendar sorted further in advance to help with like the promoter to promote it, for one. The longer we have to promote it, the better. The longer we have to say who's going to be there, the better. Hopefully I can get most of the guys confirmed within the next few weeks and then ready for the online qualifier.
Yeah, so one's going to happen before the other for sure. And yeah, you're right. Definitely a natural progression of this sport is going to have to be a little bit more in advance on the calendar these days to have these events. And not only from the athlete's perspective, but also from the promoter's perspective. Like you said, there's a lot to get in order here. Certainly when you're doing an international competition, I can't leave anything to chance. And knowing who's going to come to your show, of course, is a big part of that. So you guys out there listening to this that haven't confirmed with Luke yet, confirm with Luke. Let's get this over with.
It's a bit of a pet peeve of mine. Like, before I announced the date for the Classic, I I emailed like the organizer of all the big comps in the UK. So Britain's Strongest Woman,
Oh yeah.
um, the under 90s 105s Britain sort of national level shows. Emailed the Ultimate Strongman guys in Europe to find out when their shows were to try and like not clash. And I
Mm-hmm.
would say maybe 50% go back to me. The other half were like, I don't know when our shows are going to be. So in the end, I
Right.
was like, fuck it, I'll just pick my date.
Well, listen, you can only do so much, and that's another thing I think that's missing a bit now with with trying to manage schedules when it comes to promoters.
Yeah.
There's got to be some collaboration there if we want
Oh,
to see
100%.
this
Yeah.
go off the right way.
Yeah, I've seen it a few times in the past where things have, clashed and then people have to pick. And at the end of the day, when there's not that many big shows for the weight class guys, we want them to be as spread out as possible.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I figured if I get my date out there first, get it out there nice and early, then hopefully the other promoters will see that and think, oh, let's avoid that. If they don't, well, I've tried my best, and that's all I can
Well,
do.
that's
Really.
right. That's right. Exactly. Yeah. Sadly, I just did a show yesterday for over here with the US, kind of talking about some of our shows, kind of just having some fun with talking about some of the more interesting ones that we saw on the calendar. And I did notice even here there was a lot of missing shows, and I'll tell you, those promoters may be regretting that because a lot of people are starting to realize not only do these shows fill up very quick, but yeah, you need to get on the calendar before other people do, or at least make that point to
Yeah, like
collaborate.
Rihanna likes to use her as an example. She
Yeah,
likes to plan her full 12 months out
it's a great idea.
in January of what shows she's going to do, when she's going to be doing stuff. So if a promoter hasn't announced their show, say they got a show in the summer
Yeah,
and they're not announcing it till March, if they want big names, like again, if they were doing a lightweight women's show, Rihanna wouldn't go
yeah,
because she already has a year planned out.
yeah, that's right.
So they need
Yeah,
to help
there's no moving the
themselves.
calendar around, and good for her. There's a professionalism attached to that as well. So,
Yeah, exactly. So
yep, yep. Yeah, that's good. Well, listen, we're all these little growing pains. We'll get it all worked out
yeah,
before
we
you and I
will.
are too old and gray to care about this sport anymore. It'll all be great someday. So, all right, let's get on to these qualifying events.
Right.
You mentioned there's going to be four, right? Didn't you say four?
Five.
Five qualifying events. So essentially a show, and you're
Yeah.
giving these guys a couple months to get it done. Let's start with that first event.
So I've already pretty much said this. We are going to have a max overhead, but it's going to be specifically log.
Log.
The
Okay.
reason I've gone for that is because the show is going to have a heavy log, and I want these qualifying events to correlate quite closely with the show, so we get the best people
Yes.
for the classic. I was going to allow any kind of overhead like axle or bar, but then we could have someone who could split jerk maybe 400 pounds on a barbell, and they're
Right.
fucking terrible at log, and it wouldn't carry over to the actual show. So going to go specifically with log and one rep max log press
Okay.
is going to be the first event.
Clean and press.
Yes, clean and press.
Clean and press. Okay. And we're going to use a 12-inch log here, I'm sure, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. 12 and press, max clean and press log, or 12-inch max clean and press log. Perfect. Yeah. No strict press. I saw Rhea do her strict press online today.
Hey, you can strict press if you want, and I'll give it because I'll be impressed.
I don't advise it. No. That was a perfect strict press, by the way. I mentioned that.
I love a strict log press. So
yeah. Well, listen, it doesn't hurt to know how to do it.
yeah.
All right. Second event.
Okay, it's going to be a deadlift for reps, just standard deadlift for reps.
Okay.
You can use whatever bar you want. So you can use a stiff bar, power bar. You can use an axle if you hate yourself.
Yeah. Right.
It's going to be 270 kilos, which is
270 kilos. You couldn't do that in pounds for me, could you, Luke?
595.
585 for reps.
595.
595.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, you're not messing around then.
Yeah. I was going to have it lighter originally, but I spoke to a few guys who I've like already invited to the show and got their opinion. And I think it was Nick O'Hare was like, yeah, make it heavier. So
get out of here. He did not.
It's gonna be a heavy deadlift in the show, so he's right.
Okay. True.
If they can't pull 270 for a rep or two, they're probably not going to be able to be competitive at the Kaos Classic anyway.
Okay.
So it's going to be a 270 kilo deadlift for reps, and we are going to be allowing suits as well.
Suits. Okay, yeah, that was a question I saw online the other day too.
Mostly because so they had a pound for pound championships on official strongman a few years ago, and it was supposed to be raw, no suits.
Right.
There was a few people who, in my opinion, were wearing suits underneath their clothing.
Sure. Yep.
And it's something that is pretty much impossible for me to be able to tell on a video. So to just get rid of the are they cheating, are they not cheating, it's just easier for me to allow them.
Sure.
And
sure.
yeah, just basically anything goes.
Yeah, and you know what? Careful what you wish for. You got to learn how. You got to know how to use the suit. So I advise everybody to practice a few times for sure.
Yeah.
Don't just borrow one for the day because you probably won't figure it out.
Yes.
You sure Nick didn't say 18-inch deadlift?
No, he didn't.
Okay, just be sure. Just to be clear on that.
Definitely no 18-inch.
Okay, no 18-inch. All right, so we have the 595 or 270 kilo deadlift for reps. Suits allowed. Third event.
We are going to do a farmer's hold for time rather than a farmer's carry.
Okay.
The reason I've gone for that is because I don't really think a max farmers has any correlation to how fast you can move or how long you can grip stuff.
Yeah.
And also because we are doing 5 events and it's going to be a full comp, I'm wary about having loads of max events and just killing the guys off basically in what's technically going to be their off season. So it's going to be 140 kilos,
right,
which is like 308-ish pounds,
right,
per hand. Hold it for as long as you can.
Wow, that's an interesting caveat to this because we both know sometimes when you're moving, it's easier to hang on for some reason. Yeah. A little bit of mental discipline on that one. I like it. Why not? Listen, if you're going to be able to do it, you're going to be able to hold it for a reasonable amount of time. I honestly don't think the farmer's hold is going to make or break any of these guys when it comes to qualifying, but it certainly is going to make sure they can test the weight the right way.
That's the sort of weight-ish area that the show will be at.
Okay.
So obviously, if you can't hold it onto the 140 farmers in the online qualifier, then you're not going to be able to run with them in the show. So
right. And did I ask you how long that farmer's run would be, or you haven't determined yet?
I haven't determined yet. It'll be at least 2 lengths of wherever course is going to be probably. So it'll be a drop and turn, I'd imagine.
Okay.
Just to film with the venue. So.
Gotcha. 1 turn anyhow. All right. So that'll be roughly a 308 pound or 270 pound or 270 kilo farmer's hold.
So 140 kilos.
140 kilos. My bad.
Which is like 308 pounds.
Okay. There you go.
As you'll have noticed, I'm using kilos because
I get
America's the only country in the fucking world that doesn't use.
I know. We got to figure it out at some point. If we're going to compete internationally, we don't have a choice.
You can do the converting and work it out.
I announce these powerlifting shows constantly over here, and of course, everything is in kilos. You think I would know the stuff by heart by now, but it's tough. It's a learning curve for these old guys for sure. Maybe the next generation. What's event number 4?
The event number 4 is going to be a sandbag load for reps. So it's going to be a load for reps over a 48-inch bar.
Okay.
So that can be a yoke. You can set up a barbell in a power rack if you don't have access to yoke. Just a 48-inch bar.
Sure. Easy enough.
Or you can load it onto a platform and roll it back off wherever. I'm not going to say it's going to be specifically over a yoke. It's going to be a load for reps. That's going to be 120 kilos. Again, because that's sort of around the range that we're going to be using in the yoke sandbag medley at the show.
Yep.
So it's going to be 120 kilo sandbag load for reps over a 48-inch bar.
Okay.
Time limit probably 60 seconds. I might extend it to 75 just to be cruel, but I haven't. I'm not 100% on that.
Yeah, you might want to do that. I have a feeling these guys are going to load the hell out of that bag.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I was worried about making it super heavy because I don't want to kill the guys in the qualifier. So I might increase it to 75 just to see a bit of separation with the fitness levels.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking
so probably 75 seconds. 120
Yeah,
kilo
yeah,
bag.
with these 90 guys for sure,
200,
they'll tear that up. Very athletic. And what was the
255.
decision at the 48-inch height? Just for the speed aspect of it, you didn't want to challenge higher? Or?
Yeah, it's just a pretty standard height for loading
Okay.
stuff with 48-inch. I don't want to overly penalize shorter guys,
Yeah, sure. Okay.
especially because in the competition, they're probably going to be loading over their own yoke.
Okay. Yep.
So it's not going to be a super high load at
Good
the show
point. Yeah.
for the shorter folks. So, yeah, that's
Well
why.
thought out. Yeah. What's the next one?
And the last one is probably going to be the most horrible one. It's going to be a carry for max distance.
Oh Lord. Yeah.
So it's going to be 140 kilos, so 308 pounds again.
Okay.
I'm not gonna. It's going to be any implement basically, but it has to be a front carry, so they can use a sandbag, they can use a Husafel. Theoretically, they could use a keg. I guess they just have to carry it out
Yeah.
in
You're
front.
okay with a cross too? Anything like
Yeah,
that?
if they have like a loadable cross,
Yeah.
it's going to be a front carry.
Okay.
For max distance, it's going to be like a turn every 10 meters, so like 30-ish
Oh,
foot.
okay. Yeah. Easy enough to measure out on camera kind of thing. And yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
and most places will have at least a 10-meter run they can do it on.
Sure.
I don't want to make it say 60 foot, and then someone might only have a 30-foot space in their gym.
Sure.
So I want to keep it quite short. Yeah, so it's going to be 140 kilos or 308 pounds for max distance. So,
Well, you certainly are testing the athleticism here of these guys. It seems like you're not. I guess what I'm saying is that you're taking the OSG methodology of it, just as how strong you are, and there's a lot of athleticism that's going into this qualifier.
Well, yeah, like I said, these qualifying events are going to have a lot of correlation with the actual events of the show.
Yeah.
So I didn't want people to have to train for specific random qualifier events and then completely have to change over their training then going into the qualifier. Whereas they can do this qualifier, if they make it, they basically carry on doing the same events up until the show.
Yeah. Yeah. I think guys would appreciate that. And honestly, going forward, I hope other promoters who do these qualifiers think about that as well. That intangible really does make a difference. Not only that, it produces a better show ultimately, because now you're getting competitors there that, of course, are ready to perform in those events.
Yeah, I've seen qualifiers for a show last year, and they had a 5-rep max squat, a grip event, and then like a max overhead out of the rack on a barbell as the qualifying events. But then in the actual show, there was no squat, there was no grip event, and there was a log. So I was like, how are you finding the best guys for that show?
Yeah, you're not.
Yeah. You're finding the best squat there and the best grip guy, but they might be fucking awful.
Oh, yeah.
At the competition event. So I wanted there to be, a correlation between the online qualifier. So those events are pretty much set. There might be, say, a minor change by like 5 pounds or so here.
Right. That's it. Guys can start training for it, getting ready for it now.
That's like 99% accurate of what they're going to be.
It's a really good template, Luke. I like it a lot, and I think it's just gonna be sort of the icing on the cake with these qualifying guys coming into the lineup that is already in place, and they'll deserve to be there for sure.
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, we got close to 60 guys. I am expecting more people to sign up in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
so I reckon we'll probably be over 60, close to 70 people doing it. Like I said, it's going to be scored like a full show. So the top 5 guys will definitely earn their place. It's not going to be like previous years of online qualifiers where basically you just sign up and you get invited.
Yes.
You are going to have to work hard.
Especially for your qualifier too, with the time involved in the grip, and your qualifier could literally come down to seconds, which I think is a show within a show, if we think about it. So that'll be really cool. I'm rooting one guy on. I want to say, you know who he is. He posts all the time, and this guy wants a spot badly. That's Jacob McBride, and I'm going to say it right now. He's my favorite to be qualified to get there. So, Jacob, I'm calling you out in front of the world right now. I know how hard you're training.
I love it.
Yeah. So, all right, Luke. Well, that sounds good. Anything else to add? Because I'm going to throw this up right away because these guys are waiting for it.
No, I just said that we have me and Derek have both posted out our initial batch of pre-orders. We'll be putting up the extra few names today who've signed up in the last few weeks. I'll be sending them to Derek as well.
Okay.
And then we'll be doing another batch of pre-orders then that will be going out to March the 1st. The price pot is always growing.
Yeah.
We're still open for sponsors. If anyone wants to reach out to me on Instagram or Kaos Promotions Instagram, we'll be in touch. And yeah, there'll be more stuff going on in the next couple of weeks. Now I've actually got some spare time.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Well, sort of anyhow, but a lot of training going on, I know, because you and Ree are both hitting it pretty hard right now. What do you got coming up? You want to tell anybody what you got going on?
I have no plans really. I've obviously I had a bit of a bout with illness last year, so which put me on the training for like 4 or 5 months. So I'm just getting back into it, enjoying it. I hear rumors that it's going to be an OSG Europe's.
Oh wow! Okay.
In the summer, so kind of got that in the back of my mind that I should be ready for say August time. So yeah, maybe.
Well, we're all watching you train and get back at it, so it's good to see that. The numbers are going up, so keep at it, Luke, and we'll announce that soon when you tell us what it is.
I've got my shirt on as well, so.
Oh, nice. There you go. Yeah, that's right, everybody. Battle Axe Barbell, of course, Chaos Strength Promotions, but it's Chaos Strength Clothing. Anywhere on all of your sites, you can find that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, so you guys out there want to get involved in the show and get a shirt, and of course that prize money does go to the athlete pool, and we'll get another number from Luke on that next time we chat here in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, we'll do an update on the prize pool. Hopefully. Update on everybody who's confirmed, and we'll be on that next time.
That's right. All right, so we'll plan on getting together here by the 1st of March, and we'll talk to you then.
Perfect. That'll be the start of the online qualifier that day, so be a perfect time.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Luke. Appreciate it.
No worries, man.